show called Blackout.
I know. I thought that was unique too, though. Yeah, they only met. And so brother Roberts, this is brother with the fashion show. So what we was gonna do, we probably have two representatives. Brother Roberts and then Yolanda should be coming out next week. So he lines up on the same day I'm supposed to be at the Michigan Black Summit. So I'll be out Benton Harbor the Friday and the Saturday. I don't get back from Benton Harbor until probably it'll be later in the day. It's like 3 hours.
3 hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to maneuver and kind of get those things together, but we will definitely be in the house. We want to record and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. This is year number 12.
Oh, it'll always be a great show.
Yeah.
I remember about 6-7 years ago when I
Which one was that you came to?
that was
Was that a Blackout? Was that my birthday show? Do you remember where it was?
you know what I know we did a live broadcast. Where were we at?
Was it in February or April? I want to tell you.
I want to say it was probably in April.
That would have been my birthday show.
I think it was. 'Cause remember, I was running with you, and you was training the models, doing the walks, and we usually had a couple different places. So
Right.
one time we was at the Greater Florida Art Council. Then
That was a birthday show.
okay, yeah, and then we were somewhere else. You had them all up there.
So with my birthday shows, I had the very very first one was at the Riverfront Banquet Center when it was still dorms.
Okay.
That was my second show that I ever personally produced, and that was April 8th, 2011. And because the first
I think that might have been it.
Because the first show I ever produced was December 15th, 2010 at the U of M. And that show packed out. So then the first
I think that was it.
Might have been. We were rehearsing the USAN.
Yeah.
The university. I had them upstairs, downstairs, walking all over the building.
Yep. That was it.
And I think I did 5 years of my birthday show consecutively. But then the Blackout show kicked off, I want to say, year number 3 for the birthday show. And then Blackout just kept growing. Because Blackout was always February. And then my birthday show was in April. And usually we do the show in February, take a little break.
Yeah.
And then top of March, we're casting and preparing for the birthday show in April. And then year number 3 for Blackout didn't do so well. I had it at Ray Tyler's old place on Bristol Road.
What was that on?
His restaurant he used to have.
Oh, yeah.
And so it didn't do that. It was a free show. That was year number 3. First 2 years packed out in a blizzard.
Come on now.
Like in February, snowstorm packed out like crazy.
Yeah.
So the third year, I had a great idea. I said, well, let me put Blackout and my birthday show together and have like a whole week.
Come on now.
So we did Blackout in April. And we did Blackout that Friday. It was like just make a donation, And my birthday show was gonna be that Sunday. It was a free show, dude. Like, not even 10 people was in the audience.
Chill out.
For year number 3. Now the birthday show that Sunday was packed out, but that Friday night we had hardly nobody. I'm like, what? And so that following year, I did it again, but I moved it for the 4th year. I moved it back to February, and I had it at Buckham Gallery. Dude, packed out again. I'm like, so y'all just want to have a show in the wintertime. Y'all just want to come out for it.
I think you're doing those times, you kind of find your niche. And
yeah, so because I was trying to be considerate, because the first 2 years was a blizzard and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, well, shoot, year number 4, another snowstorm, and y'all still packing it out. I'm not changing it again. I'm not moving it. Bump that. If it's working, it's working.
That makes it.
Right. And so it has not moved. And then from there, I think like maybe year number 5 or 6 is when we started dedicating third weekend, because I'm usually in New York for Fashion Week at the time of February. And so third weekend was always the best time to do it.
You remember that time? I think it was when Kayla was Kayla
Wilburn.
Yeah.
For Fli-City Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So at one point, all of us had the year on lock. Actually, it was 4 of us. It was me, Tracy Palmer, Caleb Wilburn, and oh god, what's Isaiah's wife's name?
Shay.
So Shay did her show. I forgot the name of it, but she was.
light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
Peace and blessings, family. We welcome you to another session of Fli-City Blackout. I'm your host, Dewan Royale X Robinson. I'm sitting here with my good brother, Jeremy. Is it D?
That's right.
Yeah, Jeremy D. Cornelius, right? The creator of the Blackout Fashion Show, man. He's been doing it. This is the 12th annual year, right? And we're just kind of talking back, going and, kind of digging back in history, man. Just kind of thinking about all the times that we have connected on the fashion scene, right? Let me tell you this, man. The fashion scene is vibrant here in the city. You got folks like the brother Jeremy. You got sisters like Caleb Wilburn. You got sisters like Shay, like just doing different things, and Tracy, right? It's just a beautiful thing, right, to see all you all creators, right? Creators creating fashion, and then kind of being fly all at the same time, man. So I thought that was dope, man. You kind of gave me a blast from the past, like, man, yeah, that was some very, very groundbreaking times. We kind of go through these different challenges of creating something, right, and continue to build on it, right, and staying committed, whether be a hit or may need a little another look at, but you kind of find your craft, right? So that's deep, man. So, man, for all our listeners and everybody, man, we appreciate everybody for tapping in, who checking out the show and the broadcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel Fli-City Blackout, and definitely, man, continue to keep looking at the content. We appreciate everybody. So for all our listeners, everybody that's on, that's coming on, won't you give them an introduction to yourself? So for those who may not be privy of who you are and all the impact that you have made in the game, won't you give them a little background?
Thanks. Well, my name is Jeremy D. Cornelius. I'm the founder and CEO of the Blackout Fashion and Modeling Company. We've been established since August of 2007. We are a modeling entity as well as a fashion collective that trains, develops, and cultivates anybody anyone that's aspiring in the fashion modeling community. If you're looking to be a hairstylist, makeup artist, photographer, a model, a designer, a stylist, any aspect of the fashion modeling industry, we've created a platform to help people break into that industry, build their own platforms, build their own network, launch their companies and their businesses, and then go from there. It's been an amazing journey. I am now ranked as an international model coach. So I've trained well over 7,000 models from across the country and around the world. I've worked with and trained models from Russia, from Paris, from Germany, from various parts of the world, and of course, all over here in Michigan. I personally worked probably in about 15, 20 states around the country with training and developing models. And so it's been a great journey. These last 17 years have definitely been an amazing experience that I wouldn't trade for the world.
No, man, listen, let's dig into that, man. When you're talking about training models, right? You know what I mean? And I've seen the brother in action, man. When you see him really kind of just working with folks, getting their walk right, making sure that they posing, making sure the steps is correct, stopping at a certain place on the floor, right? All that is attention to detail. Everything has to flow, right? And it's a lot of work that being put into that, man.
Yeah.
You know, so when you talk about you ranked, right?
Yeah.
As a model runway, what is it? Host? What
So international model
coach, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you ranked as an international model coach, I think that speaks to the significance that you took this game serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this means everything to you. This is your brand.
Yeah. It's, I always say, I'm just a black dude from the north side of Flint that decided to take a chance and throw myself out there and see what happens.
Right.
And one thing about it is that I was never scared to receive the possibility of no. Because I figure, if I start out with nothing and I go after to get something,
right?
If I don't get to something, nothing really changed. So I never really lost anything.
Right.
I just gained the possibility or an option to actually gain more. But if nothing changed, then I didn't really take a loss.
Come on now.
So, I tell my models, I tell my clients, I tell anybody that's interested in starting a brand that the concept is either sink or swim. But you will never do either of those things at the shore. At some point, you have to get in the water.
Come on now.
You will never sink and you'll never swim on dry land. If you sink, we'll come save you. If you swim, we'll celebrate you. But we can't do any of those things if you stay at the shore and do absolutely nothing at all. So take the plunge, take the jump, and see what happens. And that's what I've done, and it has been more to my benefit than my detriment.
Man, listen, man, I think that's deep, man. Anything that you're passionate about, anything that you involve yourself in, you want to take that analogy, right? We talk about sink and swim. You got to get out there. You got to jump out there and do it. A lot of times people be so scared, like, you got folks that want to get into modeling or feel, they want to, get into, runway coaching, but they never take that leap of faith, right? I've seen a lot of women, right? I've known a lot of women that wanted to get in that game, right? But never took the opportunity to step in and get involved, right? You know what I'm saying? And so when you do those things, anything that you're passionate about, right? Anything that, you involve yourself in, you want to take that approach. You want to be dedicated about whatever you're doing. You want to put your best step forward, right?
100%.
And I think those things, man, that's an attribute to a person, man, who really chose to swim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's deep, man. And you've been doing this for how long?
So officially, I've been in the industry for 21 years now.
21 years.
I started modeling when I was 16.
Okay.
And I started my company when I was 20. So I've been training models for 17 years in the industry altogether for 21 years. And it's been a journey, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hurdles, but honestly, I always say, and I always say that I always say, but I actually always do say these things,
right?
That they always say that the first rule of survival is, self-preservation.
Come on,
and
man.
So you'll never know what you're made of until you're put into a situation where you have to survive.
Come on, listen. Won't you say that again, man?
You'll never know what you're made of until you're put into a position where you have to survive. That's when those survival instincts kick in. So a lot of times I put myself out there and I saw what happened and I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that was in there, because you're put on display and you're constantly kept under a magnifying glass at all times for people to look and see, is it what is it that you do and does it actually have some validity to your brand. And so that's what we did. I put myself out there, man, and I just kept going and growing and growing and growing, and here we are. I'm very happy about the journey.
No, I think that's, and let's look at I think Yolanda says she's outside, but when we so and I do want to make sure that we even kind of we hone in on those things and kind of discuss the journey, right? Of getting to the point of where you are today, getting to the point of actualizing your dream, because you're living a dream.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for 20 plus years and been in the game, started a company, coaching for X amount of years. That's to be celebrated. And I think, a lot of times, man, we don't understand the work ethic and the hard work and the trials and tribulations of really doing something that we love to do. You know, a lot of times people just look at it and think that, hey, listen, you know, this stuff just come out of nowhere, or this person is just, you know, came out of, you know, dropped from the sky and just been doing what he's been doing. But there's a lot of sweat equity that was put into that. A lot of challenges.
That's an understatement. That is an understatement. It has been extremely hard. Because when I stepped onto the scene, and this is not to throw shade or to, you know, call anybody out or anything like that.
Sure.
But when I started off in the game, I was just a 20-year-old kid that loved fashion, loved modeling, and wanted to learn. And unfortunately, there were people right here in the city that were already in what, at the time, I would consider the fashion industry with my immediate knowledge of what that entailed. And those individuals didn't want to help me. You know, they kind of stiff armed me a little bit, kind of gate kept the city and whatnot, and didn't really welcome me in. You know, so I had to work for 3 years, self-taught. I had to study the market. I had to study and research and watch every last single anything that was about fashion and modeling that I could possibly watch to learn. Because I didn't have anyone in my life at that particular time that was willing to take me under their wing and really teach me. And it was actually funny that some years later, one of the people that I really was trying to connect with at the time, one of their staff members was really good friends of mine. And he said to me, he said, I'm just going to be real with you. That person back then said that he didn't want to work with you because he knew that one day you would be better than him. And I never got into this to compete, because that's not my type of person. You know, I'm not that type of person that wants to compete with anybody. I have my own brand. I have my own lane. What I do is different from what other people do, and what other people do is different from what I do. So I'm not in the competing, you know, mindset. I'm more in networking.
Right.
You know, my thing is everybody needs something. Right. That somebody else has. So
I agree with that.
If, you know, the gentleman over here, if he has erasers, if I have paper and you have a pencil, I say we all get together and write an essay. You know, because we all need what each other have to fit, you know, accomplish our goal. And that's what I did.
You know, I think, but that's a winning mindset. That's a collaborator at its finest. Right? You know, a lot of times, you know, people don't want to share the knowledge, and I get, you know, I want to come up as a young person, you know, in communities like Flint. You have people that's in those positions or who have been in that industry who may not, you know, be more welcoming to letting you in.
Right.
Whether you're in politics, business, sports, it don't matter what it is in. And because I think it's a thing, like you said, man, it all goes back to that fear that one day that you might rise up against them.
Yeah.
You might be better than them.
Yeah.
You might do something more spectacular than them. That's a mindset that, you know, that we have to really kind of say, like, man, listen, you can't go nowhere in life having that type of mindset. You cannot look at this situation and not try to open up doors for people that's coming up behind you. It is a reason why we talk about continuity. It's important to pass this knowledge down. So I know you're working with some inspiring fashion coaches, runway coaches, people who want to get in the game. It's your job, your responsibility to make a way. And that actually catapults you to higher levels, because now you're a mentor in the game, right?
Yeah.
You got the experience.
Yeah.
And what better way to learn from somebody who's done it, who went through the challenges, went through trying to open up closed doors and being told no, nobody want to support you. That's a very, very difficult place to be in, but it kind of put an edge on your shoulder. I know I be feeling like that. Even the industries and the things that I've been engaged in, and this is just talking to folks who are in position, have been doing it for a long time. We depend on you to make a way. We depend on you to pass down that experience. An old man always tell me the most experience that you find is at the gravesite.
Yeah.
Because far too often, a lot of people take that knowledge to the grave without sharing it back. We have to get away from those type of mindsets. We have to really be a show and prove type of community. So this is just calling out everybody and anybody, right? You know, if you are in position to help another person, we calling on you. You know, we appreciate when you do.
Yeah.
Right. So now that you got 20 plus years in the game, right? What is your take on the fashion industry?
Oh goodness. Where do we begin?
So I see Kanye and all those different things, but I know that might be national and all that other stuff. Break it down too.
The thing about it is, here's the craziest thing, and I've been saying this for years.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan can be looked at as a graveyard of potential. You have so many people here in this state that will actually do exceptionally well in the industry.
Okay.
However, they lack the platforms, they lack the connection, they lack the network, and sometimes they lack the willingness to go further than where they are. And that's because a lot of times there is an overly saturated market of, and I'm trying to watch my words, I don't want to be offensive because everyone starts somewhere, but the market is overly saturated with individuals that are not necessarily fashion people.
When you say that, what do you mean, fashion people? Is there a certain type of genre, or is it a certain type of element? What do we?
In a sense of people who actually study the fashion industry.
Okay, come on.
That work in the fashion industry. They produce fashion shows and events, but they produce it for, a party mindset or a financial gain.
Okay.
So
I can see that.
If your motive for putting on a fashion show is to make a quick buck, then that's not how fashion shows work.
Okay.
The objective of a fashion show is to showcase a designer's brand, to reach a potential market or clientele to further that brand or that collection.
Yeah.
It's not to put money in your pocket. And so when you are so focused on the dollar, then you tend to kind of disseminate the value of a fashion show. You begin to cut corners in a sense to ensure ticket sales or money. So
that's what people be on.
Yeah. So if I see a person that I know for a fact that this person, because unfortunately, and I don't want to be offensive, I'm nowhere near as sharp as I used to be. Like I used to be one of those people that will cut you, leave you bleeding, and tell you to clean yourself up. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm a lot older, a lot wiser, so I don't do that anymore. But
we gotta talk about that guy.
Yeah, that guy was something else. But so, unfortunately, this industry is about a look, and it's about what the client wants. So the client makes the demands.
Yes, right.
The client says, "This is what I want to see on a runway. This is the type of model or person I want to represent my collection, or that I can find a commonality with, that I can identify with that look."
Yeah.
So if you are a 5'6", dress size, 14 or whatever, curvy model or plus size model that's short, that can't walk, or that doesn't take care of their body, and the client wants a 5'11" model with fair skin that's a dress size 2'4". I can't force this model onto this client when that's not what the client wants.
That's right.
However, you have people that don't see what the client wants. They see a dollar sign. They see this person that does not fit the mold of a model for that arena, but this person knows a lot of people, or they have a lot of friends that will buy a lot of tickets to their shows.
Okay.
So then they put this model into this fashion show that can't walk well, that doesn't take care of themselves in a way that like a model should, but got 100 family members that's going to buy 50 tickets or whatever, 100 plus tickets. So I'm going to let this model or this person be in my show and be a model. And now that person, because she can sell tickets, but now that person, it has built up in their head that they are now a model, that they have arrived. And unfortunately, just because you've been doing it long doesn't mean you've been doing it correctly or you've been doing it well. And at the end of the day, it's about a look. It is about what the client wants.
Yep.
It's about what they see. And the modeling industry is one industry that has one of the highest rates of low self-esteem. because it's solely based off of what you look like. Your worth, your dollar that is associated with your brand, with your look, is based off of your genetics. Something that you don't have any physical control over. You can cut your hair.
I can't control if I come out.
You know what I'm saying? And, but you can't control your height. I don't recommend anybody going to get their knees done.
To be honest with you, Brother Roberts, I was looking into that.
I don't recommend
my legs done. I was gonna go from I'm 5'11". They was gonna give me the 6'3".
Yeah, I don't recommend that because that's not natural. And you're going to have more issues than not,
I'm reliving my dreams, baby.
Yeah, and you're going to have a lot of pain and a lot of issues when you get 70, and now them knee extensions don't extend.
just take them back out.
Just take them back out. At this point, now you're 5'4", because all your bones are deteriorating, and now you're a tall midget. So
went from 6'3" to 5'0".
So
in 2 weeks.
It don't work that way. It just don't. But that's how brutally honest the industry is. It's about a look, unfortunately. And
I buy it. You're right.
I can't perpetuate this cycle of dishonesty that tells a person, "Oh yeah, you can model, you'll do great." Well, no, you might not, because everybody is not going to be successful in the industry. Here's the thing,
and we got to know that.
I think
a lot of times people don't want to accept the fact that they may not be the best they can be in the industry, but it's okay, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not going to be at their best in these industries, right? We got to accept that. Right?
Got to accept that. But I
see a lot of plus size models out here too.
Here's the crazy thing about it.
Come on, yo.
There's now a market for that.
Yeah.
But years ago, plus size model, what was that? Curvy, what was that?
Right.
That's not a thing.
That's different. Yeah.
But what happens is that clients now say, I want to see that on my runway. So this is how the industry works. It's literally supply and demand, right? So I will be what you call like maybe second or third tier.
Okay.
So your top tier are the high-end top modeling agencies and things like that, right?
Is that the ones that go like the Coachella and all that stuff?
Yeah, those are like the big brands that are doing the Gucci shows, the Balenciaga, the Yves Saint Laurent, the high-end couture runway shows that you see, during New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, all those things, right?
All those folks that black people be spending all their money on, buying them bags and stuff, right?
Making them rich.
And ain't paid no rent. I need to get a Jared Decor bag.
Listen, that's all I'm saying.
Come on now.
So you have these people that are up here, the upper echelon of the fashion industry, right? They make the decisions, right?
I got you.
So these designers are putting these collections out there, and now their clients, people that are now interested in buying the Gucci and the Prada, they're now plus size women. Right. So let's just use Gucci because that's a very well-known brand that everybody knows. So Gucci now is making garments that are for now plus size women. So when Gucci releases a plus size collection for their showcase, they need plus size models. So when they go to the modeling agencies to cast, if that modeling agency does not have plus size models on their roster, if they want to secure that Gucci dollar, they're going to do a casting and they're going to start gaining and adding on plus size models to their roster, right?
So now the market dictates that?
It does. It does. So now that becomes a market that is now being promoted, right? Up here at the top tier. So now those of us who work under that second and third tier people,
right,
who are developers, coaches, trainers like myself, we are now looking at that and say, okay, now this is what the industry is calling for. So now we start training and developing and cultivating models to help get them up there to that top industry.
I got you. Okay.
So now we're saying there is now a market for plus size models, for curvy models, for petite models, and we start training those models, get them ready to now start pitching them to those higher clients to start getting those jobs that are being booked now.
So you kind of like a booking. So not only do you train the trained talent, and you also get them booked.
Yeah. So my company is a development company. So it's almost like a mother agency, but I don't really keep models on for representation more than 6 to 12 months. because I don't necessarily want to be a full agency. I like to train, develop, cultivate, and then launch. Help you get to your next level, and then bring in the next group of people.
Gotcha. Okay.
But while you're under my development plan, I will represent you. I will help you get jobs. And that's what I did. I built my company around network. So if I have a designer that says, "Hey, I'm releasing a new collection. I want you to do my shoot. You know, I need models." Well, I go into my roster of the hundreds of models that are on my list, and I begin to scale through that and filter through all of the models on my roster that will fit that designer's aesthetic. And then I would use that to get them jobs with my network. And in doing so, that gives them paid opportunities. And that also helps to generate their bookings and generate their portfolio, so that when I begin to pitch them to higher agencies or larger agencies or a bigger market, they now have a really good body of work they've already established with me for the 6 to 12 months. That gives them a little bit higher of a leg up to get into those doors. But that goes back to my original point, that if you don't understand the market and you don't understand fashion, then you start to force feed models that are malnutrition to the industry that the client does not have an appetite for.
I think that
because
that kind of remind me of like, that's the same. They give me the same vibes as like the music industry, right? It's like, hey, okay, this is what's hot. This is what's getting signed. This is what being.
This is the sound that's being put out there.
Exactly.
So if you want to build that following, you got to match that sound.
So how do we change the game then? How do we be curtailers of the industry for putting our mark on what's hot, right? So like I love when I see in case point, I love to see like the models. Because back historically, everybody had light skin, everybody was damn near white, right? But then now you got these beautiful models that's coming from Africa with this gorgeous black skin, right? Chocolate, you know what I mean? They are on the floor. They in demand right now. Was that a thing where it's kind of like, all right, well, we're gonna put this in the game, or
it became a thing?
Okay.
You know, it became because back in the day, the Naomi, the Tyra, the Alec Weck, the Imans,
Iman. Come on now.
They were very few, because the industry will only allow for so many of that racial aesthetic. But again, the clients start making the decision. No, I want to see more diversity on the runway, because people who are buying the product, they want to see themselves in it. They want to identify, because everything. Let's be honest. Everything in the world, for the most part, is culturally based. It has some establishment of the culture with it, of whatever culture that is. Like in the Black culture, right? Black people are known for music, style, swag, church, all of that. So let's just go to the Black church, for instance. A good concert. At the end of the concert, you want to smell some fried chicken downstairs.
You're right.
If you go to a funeral or a baby shower, you want them funeral and baby shower meatballs. But that's a cultural thing. Our brains all go back to that identity because we relate to that.
Right.
So same thing in the industry. The culture of it has to be relatable to the people that are making the decisions, and they're the ones that say, I want to find identity, or I want to identify with what's being shown on the runway. And when they begin to put that demand out there, again, if you want that dollar, you're going to start meeting that demand. Or I'll put it to you like this, because I always use this analogy with McDonald's. I've ran a McDonald's restaurant, been with McDonald's for 17 years, right? Actually, no, 19 years. It's a long time, yeah.
You about own the McDonald's.
I know, right? So McDonald's decided that they wanted to get that Starbucks money, because Starbucks become a big thing
with that latte.
So McDonald's came out with McCafe. They started, and they actually sent us to a special training to learn what a mocha was, what a cappuccino was, what a latte was. You had to learn the difference between tall, short, grande, venti. Unleaded, meaning decaf, what an Americano was. We actually have to study all of these coffee terms so that when the Starbucks customers start coming to McDonald's to check our product, we can compete with that verbiage. So if they come and say, I want a grande caramel macchiato. Oh, okay, so that's a caramel macchiato, which is just like a latte, but a little weaker than a latte. That's a medium size. Because we've learned that jargon, we've learned that verbiage from the Starbucks customer, so that we could be appealing to that market. McDonald's wanted the Subway customers, and Jared, before he got in trouble, was pushing the weight loss thing and counting your calories and all that. Well, McDonald's wanted that, so now they started coming out with more healthier options. Parfaits.
About that,
you know what I mean? So, but they wanted that money, so they came up with parfaits. They came out with salads. They came out with fruit and walnut salad, and they started putting a calorie count of their food items on the menu, so you can actually see. They started making changes so that way they can gain the interest of the clients on the in the other markets. Here's the next biggest thing that they did.
I remember that too.
They realized that they had a $1 menu, so everybody was buying, a McDouble for $1, small fry for $1, 2 apple pies for $1. But they'll go to 7-Eleven and get $1.50 big gulp. So McDonald's wanted that 7-Eleven money, and they came out with the any size dollar soft drink.
They still got that?
No. They locked it in the market, so they don't need to do it no more. But they did this so many years ago because they wanted those customers to stop going to 7-Eleven, to stop going to the Speedway, and get these 44-ounce drinks for $1 and change. They came out with $1 any size soft drink so they could get that money. So the way to change it is, number one, study the market. Study what's being pushed. Study where customers are going, and then figure out a way to bring your brand into that. That's going to be comparable to what they're doing without changing your overall aesthetic.
Brother Robert, y'all listen to this? Oh, yeah. The brother is giving marketing game, right? For all you entrepreneurs, right? If you want to corner the market, like McDonald's has, they did all this. They got the McCafe, they got the double cheeseburger for $1. They got the any size cup drink. They had that going on. They got the cookies, the apple pie for $2. They got everything you need right there, right? They cornering the market, right? I think for us, that's a good thing for researching the market, understanding what's hot, but then also how you can go infiltrate it to be able to bring up a new wave. Because I think that's how we always looking at stuff like, man, what's the next wave? What's the next hit? Right? To be able to do that, you kind of have to dig into the past, watch what's been going on, the curve.
That's all I was getting ready to say. To find out what's next, we have to understand what was.
It's like a revolving circle.
It is.
Nothing is new under the sun. My grandfather said this
it's going to always repeat itself. Because life, fashion, interest, music, everything is all about cycles. It's always going to come back around again. To where you can wear garments from the 70s in 2024 and it'd be fly. I mean, it'd be so chic and couture because style it just keeps reinventing itself, and that's what you have to do with your brand. You got to understand what was popular back then, what was successful, and figure out a way to make it appealing for today's market, because it's going to come around again. And one of the things that I tell my models in this industry is the key to longevity is evolution. You have to evolve and grow with the changing times if you want to last. You can't be stuck in just one way.
Right.
Things are going to change. So you have to learn how to evolve. Not necessarily mean that you take everything and you throw it out. That means you take what you have and you build and build and build and build and build on it. Just like we as people, we're born, and we don't like change who we are completely. We just start growing into a better version of ourselves, but we're still us. From the day that we were born. We didn't become a different person, like a whole different DNA.
Right.
Just who we were, just evolve with life. That's it. But at the core of who you are, you're still the same person.
You're still the same person.
So same thing with your brand. Your brand at the core of what it is will always be. You just have to allow it to grow with life, so that way when you get to that point, you're not looking like you 12 years old in a 50-year-old body.
No, you know what, man? You get what he's saying, Brother Robert? We're talking about evolution, right? You evolve, right? A lot of times when you talk about branding, this is some key information for all the up and coming entrepreneurs, if you got ideas and concepts, if you see those who are continually providing and putting out good content, they providing a good product, merchandise, etc., it's because they learn in the game and then they evolving over time, but they find a way to reinvent themselves, right? I think that's a trait of understanding and knowing who you are as a brand. These like branding one-on-one. Have you ever gave sessions about branding one-on-one?
I teach branding. I teach marketing. Mm-hmm. I actually teach a class called M3, mm-hmm. which stands for Me Marketing Me, and it is how to market yourself as a brand, how to build yourself as a brand, how to build your product or you as a brand that is that is appealing to the appetite of your consumer.
Be sure to like. If you haven't had the opportunity to like the show, please like the show. And then also make sure you take these tidbits that's being shelled out to you, right? We talk about branding one-on-one, talk about fashion, we talk about just, being in these industries and learning how to do the research and be a strategist, right? Yeah. That's a skill set that you can take with you, right? I mean, you can be, every brand, company, agency needs marketing. You have to be able to understand these, but then also understand how to take your company to the next level, right? So I love what we talk about, man. I'm big on branding too. I'm big on seeing how we maximizing, our visibility, how we staying relevant in the game, right? Those things are real things, especially you want to be able to understand how to keep maybe actually just moving that forward, right? And it's not about just making the money.
Right.
It's not about that, right? If you can build a brand and leave a legacy, I think that is more important, more vital than just having a one-time big payout.
Yep.
Or a check, right? But hot at the time.
Because people want to make a quick buck. They want to make a quick dollar. And who don't like a quick dollar? But what's better, a quick dollar or residual income?
That's a question to pose. What do you think is better? You think making a quick dollar, you might get a good dollar. Or you can have something residual that continues to hit your accounts and you make money while you sleep.
And the issue with that is that people are so quick to make that dollar that they have become okay with putting things out there subpar just to get that money. But here's the thing. If, let's just say, the next 6 months are guaranteed to happen, like no death, no sickness, no nothing, the world not going to end, like the next 6 months, it is guaranteed that it is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So if I take my time and invest in the building of who I am and what my brand is and launch it in 6 months, you actually will turn out better because you took 6 months to build and perfect it versus throwing your stuff out there for the first month and then in 6 months you got to start all over again.
I want you to say that again because I don't know if folks is really understanding that.
So like, I got a vision that I want to do, and it is absolutely 100% guaranteed that the next 6 months are going to happen. We're not going to die. Jesus not going to come back. The world not going to end.
You're not coming back to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like the next 6 months it is going to absolutely 100% unequivocally happen.
Come on, okay? Come on.
If it's guaranteed. I'd rather take this 6 months and perfect my skill set to where now at the end of 6 months, I actually put out something that's going to last versus prematurely put something out there in the first month and then spend the next 5 months dealing with complications because it didn't mature its proper time. And then at the end of 6 months, I got to start all over again anyway. It doesn't make sense.
I think folks want to grasp that, right? So he's saying taking time to perfect your craft.
Like,
I would take the time out to sit back 6 months, right? It may seem like a very extensive time or a long time, but I would take the time out to be able to, study, research, continue to keep building, right? Identify my mission and vision for whatever I'm trying to present to the public. And then by the time that's 6 months, I should be ready to rock and roll.
It is a scientific fact. It is proven that a baby is at higher risk of infections, cognitive disabilities, health issues when they're born prematurely than they would if they stayed in the womb for the full 9-month period. And so when premature babies happen, some of them actually do really, really well, So if you're born at 6 months as a preemie, you may do really well and grow up in life, and people would never know.
Right.
But you also have some preemies that they didn't fully develop properly because they were born too soon, and they spent the rest of their time, those next few months, in an incubator. Yeah. And then now, when they come out the incubator, they, maybe have stomach issues because all of their organs and everything didn't properly develop, or they may have some type of cognitive impairment because their brain cells and their things didn't fully develop while they were in the mother's womb. Yeah. And so it's best if and pre-med was my first major when I graduated high school. I was actually going to be an OBGYN.
What school you went to?
I graduated from Northern.
So Northern. Should have been Indian, but
well, no, because they were the first to close. But anyway, so
I love splatter.
Just saying.
She looks back, go back over here. You see how them schools is gone, and we still talking about it.
Because Central would change their mascot to the phoenixes, that a mythological bird rises from the dumbest. Well, it's a mythological bird that rises from the ashes, and Central never rolls. So anyway, that's what
we were thinking about coming back.
Yeah, no, never happened.
They didn't have the money set for the next year.
They
closed after the next year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Central was the big house, though. It was a big school
or jailhouse. But anyway,
shout out to
Central, so anyway. It is,
it used to be a mental psych ward. It used to be.
That explains a lot.
Oh my God.
So as OBGYNs or people who are delivering babies, I know, right? Doctors always try to push for the baby to stay in the womb as long as possible. A premature birth puts the baby at a higher risk.
That's for sure.
So
my daughter was a preemie.
And I'm sure
it turned out to be pretty cool.
I'm sure, but during that time when she was born premature, she had to be watched carefully.
For sure.
And so it's the same thing with your brand.
Yeah.
If you birth your brand prematurely, you will spend more time watching over the proper development of that brand.
Okay, I got you.
Versus just training that brand to grow up in life. Like when your baby is born at 9 months, or born after 9 months, only thing you worried about doing now is playing with the baby, feeding the baby, changing the baby, watching the baby walk, and everything, all kind of stuff, doing all the stuff that baby did because this baby was born healthy. But when you have a premature baby, now you can't toss the baby, you can't play catch, you can't do all these little things because the baby didn't fully develop in the womb. So now I'm spending a lot of my child's initial years watching it, making sure it ain't every little thing that happens. I think the baby about to get sick or whatever because it didn't develop. Same thing with your brand. If you don't take that time to develop that brand, instead of you just living the dream and watching this brand build and grow and watching your following and your clientele build and grow, you're now taking your brand and you're feeding your brand through a feeding tube. You're taking your brand and you got to stay up all night because at any given moment your brand could possibly die or have issues or not breathe properly because the lungs of your brand didn't develop.
Right. It's not growing.
It's not growing. And so you literally have to allow for your brand to properly grow in your, in your visionary womb. So that way, when it's time for that brand to be birthed, only thing that it's doing is being fed, learning how to walk, learning how to run.
Come on.
And then eventually reach a point of maturation. Now that brand starts having brands of their own.
I do respect the way that you even put that, because you're right. When you look at the analogy of a preemie, you do have to spend the time in to ensure that the development is taking place. Versus when they're born after 9 months, you can just kind of get them going in life. I think when you was talking about it, that made me think of my daughter who was a preemie, and my son went 10 months, right? And so he come out, he was ready to go. He was activated, he was eating all these prenatals. He was just doing his thing. So he came out strong. Delilah had to, we had to sit in the hospital for a little minute to make sure she was good to go and work with her. And now she off to the runnings, right? But that's deep though. When you talk about your brand, when you take time out to put it in that incubation stage, when you just kind of feed it and develop it and build it, and then when you present it, it should be all ready to go.
Yep.
Right. And on that note, one of the greatest brands in the history of mankind, if you really look at it in historical context, is the early Kemetic pyramids.
Come on now.
Because you think about it, that still is celebrated today, and that's 7,000 years ago.
That's right.
They laid out a whole concept of what those kings were doing as far as that kind of monolithic for burial purposes, right? And it transcended generations over thousands of years because they used that same model to want to be buried.
And it's still just as prevalent today as it was then.
Come on now, ain't that something? That's a brand.
That's like one of the last of the 9 wonders of the world. When you look at the pyramids, and they built that without the modern day technology, all the tools and stuff that we got today. They did that right then at them times, and it still stands to this day.
And think about it. That's the big thing that you want for your brand is that all you got to do is pretty much whisper something that is identifiable to that brand, and everybody automatically knows what it is.
Come on now.
Again, going back to McDonald's, we know what that M looks like. They can put that M on. McDonald's is known for burgers, but they got that M on shirts. They got it on neckties. They got it on bags and watches because that brand is so trusted that I can put that name on anything and people will buy it because it's a trusted brand. And I know what it is.
That's true.
And that's what you want with your businesses. That's what you want with what you're creating is that you want to be able to put that name or that stamp or that identity on whatever it is that you're building. And people trust the integrity of that brand so much that whatever it is that you're selling, they're buying it. It has to be so strong that you can put that brand on a cup of water in the ocean and people will still buy it.
That's a strong brand if you can do
that.
That's
a strong brand.
Why you be calling it the Burger Hut?
So, random. So I worked for McDonald's for a long time.
I go back into the burger.
I know, right? I was working for McDonald's for a long time, and I was working for a corporate store.
Yeah.
And so corporate was very, very, touchy about their brand being posted on social media.
Gotcha.
And so I was always at work at 4:00 in the morning, and there was this one lady, older lady, that every morning, just happy for no reason. And it's 4 a.m. I'm not a morning person. And so I'll be walking in like, hey, y'all. She'll be like, good morning. It's another beautiful day here in Paradise. I'm like, would you shut up? So I would get online like,
beautiful morning.
Right. Another day here at the Burger Hut. Old lady getting on my nerves. Blah, blah, blah. Old lady messing up the sandwiches. We don't sell McGrits here, cooking like she at home. So I would just sharing what my day was. No, that's not a thing.
That'll be hot. That might be something to put on the menu.
It will be. Who knows? McGrits. McShrimp and grits.
McShrimp and grits.
I'm just saying. I started doing it. I didn't want to get in trouble for mentioning McDonald's name on time. The Burger Hut instead and whatnot, and Burger Hut Chronicles became a whole thing.
Well, that was kind of catchy though.
It was, and that lasted for years to where I had people come through my drive-thru line, literally asking me like, "Oh my God, will I be on Burger Hut Chronicles today?"
Wow!
Because I was always reenacting or retelling stories that actually happened to me at work. I had characters. I had people come to my store looking for the McCougar. Because the McCougar was an older lady at my store that always flirted with me. Always tried to get with me. Always. This lady will follow me around that store.
Give her some play.
No. Ever. This lady, she accidentally, tell this story. This is my first time working with this lady at this store.
Okay.
And so she could never say, she's country, and she could never say Jeremy. So she called me Johnny because she could never say my name right. So this lady, she clocked out, she was sitting down, she was eating her food or whatever. She threw her tray away. She ran home. She went home. About 45 minutes later, the phone rings in the store. I answer the phone, you know, hi McDonald's. She's hysterical. Johnny, oh my God, Johnny. Did y'all take the trash out yet? I'm like, no. Okay, don't take the trash out yet, Johnny. I'm on my way. I left something. I'm on my way. And so she's freaking out.
Yeah.
Because she told us do not take out the trash because she left something
in there. Yeah.
So my supervisor was there. I said, hey, so-and-so. I said, that was really weird. So-and-so just said, don't throw the trash away because she accidentally threw something away. My supervisor said, oh, child, she probably threw her teeth away again.
Oh, my God.
I said, again?
That's something to come back from.
So apparently, she would pop her denture out, put it on her tray, eat her food, and she accidentally threw her dentures away in the trash can.
How would she eat the burger with no teeth?
That's none of my business. And I didn't stick around to find out.
Just burgers.
I was just curious about the fact that it was again. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Hey, y'all be sure to like and subscribe to channel Fli-City Blackout. We are on with Jeremy D. Cornelius, and he is talking about branding. Be sure to like it, right? The brother has the Blackout coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to be taking place next Saturday, right? If you don't have tickets, you need to get your tickets. How much are the tickets?
$35.
$35. And listen here, let me put
and we're selling out.
They selling out. They selling like hotcakes. You hear me? But at the same time, too, we are looking for donations and supporters. If you can sponsor and support this young brother who's been doing this work for 20-odd years, we are definitely trying to make sure that, you know, we don't want for nothing and everybody have a good time. We see some great talent. We look forward to looking to all the models that's going to be on the floor and just kind of, you know, showing brands. All right, we might have to get a Black Lives Matter T-shirt.
I know, right?
You know, Brother Roberts he's a model, right? Look at him. Brother Roberts, you just walk down what he got on right now and put him on the bill. Listen, everybody gonna be wanting to know where he get this from, and he'll be able to tell you, Brother Roberts. I'm telling you, you are a walking idol, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't the brother look good?
You look good. Yes,
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Good,
make sure that you come on out and you support. Right, we want to make sure that we support and make this jam packed. It's always gonna be jam packed. You just said the tickets are selling out. It's $35, right? We're gonna be at the U of M.
Look,
right?
We actually changed. It's gonna be at the Hilton Garden Inn.
The Hilton, come on.
Yeah.
You taking the bill, bro?
Yeah. So we rented out the downtown Flint. We rented out the entire second floor. And we had it there last year, but this year I changed it up a little bit. So imagine, if you will, picture it, Flint, 2024. Now that's a Golden Girl reference. Anyway.
Okay.
So imagine a live runway movie showcase. Wow. That's what it's going to be given. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to let y'all use your imagination to try to figure out what that's going to be like. But
could we video it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we supposed to come out and
so I mean, y'all definitely can. It will be live streamed on, you know, a couple of platforms and whatnot. You guys definitely, you know, we have media passes. So any photographer, videographer that want to come, you can hit me up and get you a media pass and whatnot.
Can we get Brother Roberts? Because Brother Roberts and I think Yo and Aaron, he was gonna come down and do some recording.
Yeah, the black carpet entry starts at 6 o'clock.
You gotta catch
that. You know, live interviews on the black carpet with the, you know, and it's, let me put this out there, Saints and friends and others.
Come on now.
It is Blackout. All black attire.
Come on now.
Don't you show yourself up at my show with a pop of color. Because I'm going to pop you.
That's the dark side, Jake.
I can't stand for those oddballs to say, I got to stand out. You will stand outside. That's where you will stand. Outside. Because you will not get into my show wearing fluorescent beige.
If they got a white tee on, you know, some people just go to the corner store get a white tee.
We'll go get a black one instead.
No, Jim, do you have like any advertisements over the radio?
Yeah.
Nothing. So I don't have any advertising on radio, but I do. Good friend of mine, LaQuinn Williams, has a radio station and everything. So he's been advertising the show on his platform and whatnot. It's on all social media. The models have been posting a flyer like crazy and everything. So it is definitely out there.
So what I'm trying to,
yeah.
So
So
what
I
I'm
had the son in my program, Junior LJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played football. He wasn't part of Rites of Passage. So LJ, shout out to LJ. Shout out to Senior too.
So what I'm trying to say is, you know, you expanded for so long. I mean, like I met you like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And my daughter was in your fashion show.
Yeah, my girl.
And how I met you, I had just seen, I think it was a flyer that was on my car. You were in a small building. You didn't have like
nothing.
It was no advertisement like now. You know, and I was just amazed of your show back then. I was like, wow, you know, like what is this? You know, like I call it chitlin circuit.
We all got to start at the tip. We all got to start there.
Wow, you know, like, and it was just so many people, and I was just so surprised. I was like, wow, and you just kept on going and going. You went to Detroit, and then maybe Atlanta,
all over.
You got bigger and bigger. Within 12 years' time, this young man here,
it has grown, and it honestly shocks me because again, like I said earlier, I'm a little black dude from the north side of Flint that grew up in the hood on Iroquois and Dartmouth.
Shout out to Flint Town.
You know what I mean? Dayton Ave, King Hood. Like
Dayton Ave, baby.
That's where I grew up.
I used to be there.
That's where I grew up. You know,
Dayton Ave, baby. Come on,
that's the spot. You know what I mean? You know, north side of Flint was. Yeah.
You don't have no type of media coverage.
Oh yeah,
media. And you are so huge. I mean, you've been like in other countries.
It has grown, and
this is what you call Black excellence.
And
Black history.
Come on.
This is Jeremy Cornelius. This is Black excellence.
And the crazy thing about it is that I don't really work hard to put the Blackout show on because the brand has been so established and so trusted. Shout out to my team, my staff that believes and support, you know, in me.
Yes.
That we have put, you know, this brand together that people, when they hear it, they look for it, they trust it. I stood up at one of my shows and I thanked not the black people. I thanked all of the other ethnicities that trusted this black man that grew up in the hood in Flint with their 14, 15, 16-year-old daughters because my brand was so strong and so professional that race was not an issue. That, you know, the color of my skin was not a concern. That what I was putting out, it was, I don't care who you are, what you're doing is so great. I want my child to be involved. So when you look at my shows, thankfully, it is a literal melting pot of all ethnicities, racial backgrounds, social statuses, you know, community leaders, families, you know, entrepreneurs, aspiring individuals and whatnot. And it's all because we took time to properly build and properly make sure that what we're putting out is a great product that all consumers want to be a part of it. And that's so big because
I expect that.
it, unfortunately, let's just be real. Let's just be real. The black name has great potential, but it also has so many negative connotations to it by other people with how they view it. And the worst thing that we can do as black people is play into the stereotype. Because we don't have to dumb ourselves down. We don't have to be ignorant and less than. We have a potential to be, we are literally some of the most influential, powerful beings in the world that this country has literally benefited from by the adventures that we've created.
Yes, sir.
But yet we
recognize
a lot of times have allowed ourselves to live in a lower state of being than what our divinity or who we are as people, you know, demands. We'll play into the stereotype. We'll be, you know, the stereotypical N-word. We'll be the stereotypical person and whatnot, and we limit ourselves so much to where people don't want to fool with us because we don't take, a lot of times we don't take ourselves seriously. We don't really live up to what we know that we can do.
Come on now.
And the thing about it is that I refuse to let what people think that I am be the driving force of what I know I can do. And so I built, I grew, I learned, I perfected my craft. So that when you look at me, you see a person that's like, yo, hold on, what, for real? You know, to where I was on Instagram minding my business, and somebody DM me and was like, can you come to Dallas and train my models? I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, this was years ago. I'm like, yeah, well, if you want me to come, you gotta buy my ticket, my plane ticket, round trip, and my hotel, and blah 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 blah. And 2 days later, I had an email with plane ticket confirmation, hotel confirmation, driver confirmation. I had a dollar amount of what my per diem was going to be.
Come on now, yeah.
And I was like, okay. So then do that, come back home. Somebody else said, can you come back to Dallas? I got a show here. And somebody said, they'll say, I want to bring you on as a buyer for my store. I'm going to fly you out to LA to go to the fashion district and buy and purchase for our company. Flew out to LA, went shopping for the store, procure all of their items and everything for their boutiques and everything. Flew me back home, excuse me. The next thing you know, somebody in Indianapolis, I want you to come down here and train my models for my big event that I'm having. 100-something models. Somebody in Detroit, we got 300 models for the show. We want you to come train. Then ended up in New York, then Miami, then LA, then back in Atlanta, then Chicago, then St. Louis, then Milwaukee, then back in Detroit, you know. And that's because I did not allow limitations, negative perceptions, negative connotations, ideologies from other people, what people think, or what their own projection of who I should be.
Come on now.
I didn't allow any of that to determine my worth and my value. Because I know what I can produce. I know what I have on the inside of me. And I will not be a product of some of the bad environments that I grew up in.
Come on now.
Because I didn't, when people meet me, or when they talk to me, they think, oh, he's proper, or the way that he speaks, you know, he must have grew up in Grand Blanc or Davidson, or, you know.
You sound like you from Davidson.
You get what I'm saying? But people would think that. But the crazy thing about it is, and I get that all the time. Oh, you must grew up in Swartz Creek, or whatever.
When you say the north side of the planet, like, whoa.
A lot of people don't believe it. And I literally, I used to make the joke and say, I grew up on the north side of the planet. It wasn't a good night's sleep unless you heard gunshots. You know, I used to always say that. But like, I remember
that added a certain element to you too.
Yeah, but because where I grew up, we had a great home. My mother raised, 3 boys by herself.
Come on now, shout out.
You know what I mean? So I remember times when our power was cut off. Okay. I remember times when our water was cut off. And when my parents died, I was homeless. I struggled. Yeah. I lived in an abandoned house. I lived in a house that had no heat, no lights, no running water in the dead of winter.
Come on now.
Eating cold cans of chunky soup. Or when the water was running, I'll take that hot water, let it get hot as possible, fill a bowl up with it, put a pack of ramen noodles in there, let them noodles soak up, and eat some lukewarm ramen noodles to eat in the dead of winter, in Michigan's winter. And I still produce shows, traveled around the country, still did what I had to do, and you would never know, because I refuse to allow life situations and circumstances dictate my level of success. Like it wasn't going to happen. Because the best thing that you can do to the societal bully, which is perception of who you are, is to confront it and prove to it that what it's saying that you are, you're not. A bully is only as effective as their intimidation that to you. But when you're no longer intimidated by it, it's like, what? We're not about to do this. I must stand up to it. So against all odds, I survived.
Come on, man. Come on.
I built, and this is where we are.
Nah, I can respect that grit, that grind. Going through the mud, water cut off, no heat. My peers eating chunky soup, but we got to make do. That does something to your psyche. I think it's a thing of, it builds that hunger. So when you're able to get out here and build a brand, you hungry for it, and you got the energy to do it.
And all of that
is built in.
All of that is what launched the Blackout Show. The very first Blackout Show that was produced 12 years ago was produced when I was homeless, sleeping on my friend's couch. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any phone service. I had a phone, but it wasn't turned on because I had no money to pay the bill. So I sat in the corner like this with that phone, picking up a Wi-Fi signal from the neighbor, and from that, on my friend's couch, I booked models, designers, sponsors, a venue, called it Blackout Runway Show.
Come on now.
And the concept was every negative thing in your life, you black it out.
Wow.
You don't focus on it.
Okay.
You don't focus on it.
Yeah.
You only focus on the positive and what you can do.
Yeah.
You black it out. And so we took that into a physical representation at the show. All the lights are off. Everybody's dressed in black. And the only thing that we're focusing on are the garments and the models. We're focusing on the thing that matters most, the models and the garments. So that's how Blackout came to be. So every year that I put it on, it's not just a fashion show. It is a celebration and a physical reminder of how I conquered some of the hardest issues that I had in my life. And so 12 years in, I put the word Blackout out, and I put the phrase now casting models, and we get almost 200 models pre-registered to audition for a chance to walk in the show.
Listen, man, you know what? That's very inspiring. I didn't even really know that, man. Y'all be sure to like the show. Make sure you share it. Make sure you get a ticket to the Blackout. It is next Saturday at the Hilton Garden Hotel. We get started, doors open at 6. Show starts 7 o'clock.
We start on time.
And they start on time. So don't be trying to come in there at the 10 o'clock hour talking about you here for the fashion show.
Show be over. We start at 7. We're done at 8:30.
There's gonna be some snacks or something, like it's some hors d'oeuvres. It's like people sitting on the catwalk and people just walking down, and it's that type of
So
stuff.
no, it's not like, so there is a beautiful restaurant downstairs, you know, in the hotel. That part's not covered in your ticket. But we do go downstairs to eat and kind of just, you know, hang out and mix and mingle with everybody, you know, after the show. But we don't do a whole lot of stuff. At this particular venue, we actually can't have like outside food or whatnot. But, you know, food will be available for guests if they want to at the restaurant downstairs. But aside from that, you know, it's just a great event to see real fashion, real models, you know, a great production that has become a Flint staple the last now 12 years. It is literally one of the first fashion shows of the year in Flint. And it's definitely one of the biggest. And I'm so honored and proud to say that I am now the only producer in the city of Flint that has now consecutively done the same show 12 years straight without missing. Yeah.
You want to come in the hot seat and kick it with him for a minute? You got some things you want to? Oh, we did too. That's a tremendous story, right? So we hear the background story of how the Blackout came about, right? Tell us, because you know we're in Black History Month, right? We're dealing with a lot of Black health, right? And a lot of times we don't necessarily talk about. Black men never talk about their health, right? I know Brother Roberts will be coming in with a segment just kind of really delving into Black health, right? Black man health, right? And all the different challenges and things that we may be going through, and we don't know how to talk about it. Yeah. We don't go see the doctor until we about on the deathbed. You know, it's just how I'm sitting up here with a broken hand, and that still ain't right. It's just something about, you know, we're gonna persevere and we're gonna just molly on through. But let's talk about Black man health, because I know that, we're brothers, and I know the background story to some of the health challenges, right? Let's talk about that, right? Because in addition to the challenges of getting to the point of being Blackout, what it is today, you also are working to better your health on different things, right? You just recently in a car crash, right? And by a drunk driver, head-on collision, right? Couldn't walk, right? Just not walking. I was telling him earlier, man, I seen him dancing on the net. I'm like, man, it's just so powerful, because he's been really capturing his whole journey back. And just to see you just walking around and just even hopping out the car earlier, I'm like, man, wow. I said the brother bounces back, right? You know what I'm saying? It take a lot. People don't know what it feel like to be like in the infant stages of not being able to walk again, right? And teaching yourself back, to walk, right? Take us through that journey real quick for those who may not, been privy to that story.
Yeah, so July 9th, I was headed back to Saginaw from Flint, and a drunk driver got on the highway driving the wrong direction. And I was driving 75 north, and they got onto 75 north driving south. And hit me head on, knocked my car over to the side of the road. I was found an hour later by the ambulance. I got rushed to the hospital. The only thing that I know was I don't remember the accident. I remember being at the gas station on Pearson Road before getting on the highway. And the next memory I have is waking up in the trauma room at Covenant Hospital in Saginaw, being told that I was in a car accident and both of my legs were broken. And then I was knocked back out and woke up that Monday night at Hurley Hospital because they had to stabilize me at Covenant and airlift me to Hurley, where I was in surgery for over 12 hours and had 13 blood transfusions, and both of my legs were severely broken and shattered. So my left pelvis was fractured, my left femur completely shattered. I have an entire metal rod from my hip down to my knee on the left side. My left tibia was fractured. Both of my ankles were fractured. My left heel bone, my calcaneus bone in my left heel, was completely shattered. And then my right tibia and fibula were both broken. So there's a metal rod from my right knee down to my ankle. I was bedridden for a while. I couldn't get up. I was, non-weight bearing for about 3 months and in a wheelchair, could not walk. And then I moved from a wheelchair to a walker, from a walker to the cane. And now I only use my cane today because my leg was hurt a little bit. But it was very, very traumatic. But I did not allow what I was going through to dictate, because I always say that it's not what you go through, it's how you go through it. Because how you go through it determines what you gain when you come out of it. And so when I finally woke up and I was alert, the doctors would come in and they would touch my feet, they would touch my legs. They'll say, "Can you feel this?" I say, "Yeah." They have me wiggle my toes. And so once I realized that I can feel and I can wiggle my toes, I knew that I was going to walk again. So at that point, there was never a question. I wasn't tripping. I literally went through there chilling, cracking jokes, laughing. Because I know, because I knew the power of controlling your atmosphere and your environment. So I would not allow anybody to come into my room speaking anything opposite than what I was speaking.
For sure.
I actually put somebody out. One person came in my hospital room just like, "Man, you could have died. You could have died." And I'm like, "I know. If anybody know, I think I would know." And they kept saying it. And they were just like, "Man, I'm just saying." I'm like, "You know what? I'm good. You can go ahead and go home." And they just go, "I'm gonna go. You need anything?" I said, "No, I'm good. Go ahead and go home."
You can go home without that.
And they just kept going on. I'm like, "But you could have died." I said, "You know what, bro? I appreciate it, but go ahead and go home." And so then he started like grabbing his heart because he was like all emotional. And I'm like, "Wait." I said, hold on. I said, "You cannot possibly be more broken up about this than I am. That don't work. Like, you can't be more distraught than me." So you just said, "I'm just saying, you could have died." I said, "Okay, well, go home. I'm good." But then my heart, I said, "Well, then go home and mend it." and stop. Because you're bringing something into my environment that's not allowed. We're not doing that. If you call me with that "woe is me," I appreciate the love. I appreciate people loving me and caring for me so much that they were highly affected by the thought that I could have died. But the thing about it is,
that's a real thing.
I make the joke, like, seriously, me dead, that's ghetto. Like, me dying, that don't make sense. Come on now, that, like, literally. But that's how my brain thinks. That's my brain thinks, like, me dying is not a thing. Like, that just don't work.
That's the invincibility. I respect that now.
Yeah, it goes against my narrative.
I'm with that.
Because I'm not that person that's gonna sit there and just be like, oh my god, that doesn't work because I've already conquered so much in my life.
For sure.
So now when I go through things, I don't look at it as like, oh my god, my life is over. My first mindset of everything is like, yo, I can't wait to tell somebody about this one. Because everything is a story for me. Everything is an opportunity for me to share my testimony, for me to encourage other people, for me to live my life in a way that people can learn from it. That they can say, wow, if he can go through all these things that he go through and still overcome, surely I can go through this. So I'm okay with that, And I understand the power of controlling your mindset and your words.
Come on now.
I understand that. So I would never. My motto was this: before I say the wrong thing, I'll say no thing. I would not allow anything negative to come out of my mouth.
My granny used to tell me that all the time. She said, before you even get to saying stuff, make sure you know what you said. Yeah. Make sure it is right.
Because the moment you speak it out of your mouth, you give life to it. And now you have to just imagine how much further we would be in life if we were not fighting every day with the words that we spoke out of anger, immaturity, and frustration, and heightened emotions. Just imagine, because a lot of things that we deal with, some of it is a product of the things that we spoke out of. We spoke life into some of the negative things that we're. So when you say, I'm gonna always be broke, or I will never have anything. Well, guess what? Now you don't.
Yeah, no, I concur with that. Right, words is powerful.
Yeah.
So be mindful of the things that you do put out there. Be mindful of the words that you say, man.
Yeah.
I do. And I try to take heed to that now. Right. Real talk. And then, go ahead.
I want to ask too, like the Flint businesses. Could you mention the Flint businesses that are involved, with the fashion show?
So we have a couple of great designers. Okay. One of the designers is how can I put this? He's my headache. He is a literal headache of a little brother.
Yeah, some of them.
But he's amazing. His name is Dustin Gaines. He's the founder, Elevate Exchange. And this guy, he's one of my proteges. When we connected, I'm like, I'm gonna be your big brother. I'm gonna help you produce your shows. I produced 2 of his shows for him.
That's what's up.
He's located downtown, right?
Yeah, he's in the area. Yeah. So he's part of the show. My protege, my mentee, Adriana, she's actually my production manager, and she actually produces 810 Fashion.
Okay.
So she started out with me as a model, and then became a model coach, became a show producer, became a director, and I was able to help build her to where now she's actually right now in New York working during Fashion Week, and she's doing amazing. She's actually working with a company that I used to work for. Well, I used to work for a brand of that company and everything. And so now she's to that new brand what I was to the older brand, and doing absolutely amazingly well.
Come on now.
With that. And we have you know what? I don't want to mess up nobody. Let me go to my notes because I don't want to get no text like you didn't say my name.
You didn't call me out.
You didn't call me out.
I've been working on this show.
You're right. You would forget about me. So, those are the people that's like in the show from Flint.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, I did not pull on a lot of Flint designers because I wanted to bring more people into Flint from outside. There are already people in Flint that have done things and whatnot. I want those people to come and sit in the show and start seeing people from other areas to what they're doing that may have bigger platforms, and now they can see, oh wow, this person flew in from Atlanta and they're that big and they're doing that
kind of
whatever
reverse type vibe.
So because people think if you want people to grow in your city, you got to put them on. That's not always the case. Sometimes you need to sit them down and make them watch and learn.
You hear that, Brother Roberts?
If you're always doing, a lot of times you're never being, or you're never learning. So instead of me putting them on my platform and letting them showcase, which is great and whatnot, but how about you sit them down and put them into a real life class and let them watch designers that have gone further than where they are present their collections onto the runway. And now they're learning. So when they get ready to do it, they know what a brand should look like. They know what a collection should look like. And everything. So we have a lot of people that are actually coming in from out of the city and out of the state to Flint. And a lot of times people have asked me to produce my show in Detroit. People have literally asked me to do Blackout in Detroit.
Yes,
somebody,
I met a couple of
somebody just asked me to do Blackout in Grand Rapids. I said, why? They said, because your show will kill here. I said, but guess what? Grand Rapids is coming to Flint.
Grand Rapids is a good market too.
It is. Yeah. But all of those people are coming to Flint to see my shows. They're driving in from Chicago, flying in from Atlanta, flying in from St. Louis, flying in, or driving from Ohio and all over Michigan to Flint. So I have no need to take my show to them because they're already coming here.
Come on now.
So, and then, like, you have area photographers. I mean, like, you even have comp cards being made, and a lot of people want those comp cards, to send out to different industries. Yeah,
at our casting call, we actually we did headshots for models, and we were able to print their headshots out there, a professional headshot right there on the spot. That they can, we have a digital copy, they have a physical copy that they can, and they actually can get a digital copy, and then print out however many more images that they want, that they can use to, audition for other shows as well. So we like I said, it's a platform, and everybody, like when I first started, I didn't get everything right. I had to learn, I had to, perfect and whatnot. So now I built my platform on the concept of doing or answering all of the questions that went unanswered in other shows that I've done. I've done enough shows to know what not to do. So now the way I do shows is I fix all of those issues that I see in the other shows. So now when people come and my show is their first show, I'd rather for their first show to be a show that's actually well produced than for them to do 10 shows that were unfortunately poorly produced, and then they come to mine, before they even do it, they already have a low expectation because of what they've experienced.
No, I think
also
that's great.
Bring up the ages, like the ages that you start.
Oh, so we train models all the way from age 5 to adult. And I mean, I have 5 and 6 and 7-year-old models that I've trained that can outwalk some grown women. But I also have worked with models that are 40, 50, and 60 years old. I think the oldest model in our show might be 65, and the youngest might be 5 years old.
So if you had a lifetime dream of being a model, in the runway, wearing some sporty gear, this is never too late. That reminded me of just what happened with Killer Mike winning the Grammys. He's just talking about you're never too old.
Yeah.
Right, to follow your dream and your passion. Like, we respect that. So if you really want to get involved, want to get engaged, you want to do some stuff, we want to encourage you. You got all these different opportunities. You got talent. You got coaches that's definitely out here doing the work. I just love this type of, synergy taking place here in the city, man. We got different designers. We got some very, very cool designers here, man. Big shout out to all them brothers, man. See, brother Dustin just hopped on, man. He putting on, man. We got some phenomenal designers. Cousin Kayla, they really be putting in good work, man. And I watched them develop these brands over time, and to be able to be on the forefront and be able to keep elevating, if you will. I think that's real dope for the city. It's gonna be a vibe that whole day. I'm just upset because this the same day as the Michigan Black Summit. I had made that commitment back in November, so definitely gonna be cheering from afar, and I might even come in and catch a tail end. It's gonna be an after party or something
down at the restaurant.
Down at the restaurant, I might be coming right back in on the after party tip. Maybe I can mingle with some of the folks, but maybe cop some brands or whatever the case. But we will definitely be out there on the set with the team for sure.
So, do you have any hairstylists?
Oh yeah. So we I have the bomb team. I have the most check your phone. I have the most amazing team. So I was trying to be discreet, but it wasn't working. So my lead hairstylist, his name is Christian, and he's absolutely amazing. So he's going to be doing all of my hair and everything. He's my head hairstylist, so he oversees all the hair. What he says goes.
What's his name?
His name is Christian. Christian Tercel. That's what he goes by.
Okay.
And then I have Faith, who is my head makeup artist and everything. And she will oversee all makeup. I have Tarisha Moore, who helps us with the kid models. Like I said, Adriana, she is my production manager, so she runs backstage for me and everything. Like I actually don't even, I'm not backstage at my shows. I'm sitting out watching it. My staff runs everything. I have Damo, who is one of my assistants, and I have Brooklyn, who's another assistant that kind of help orchestrate things backstage. I have a great team of people. And we do allow other hairstylists and makeup artists to come on board to network, to grow their brands, to grow, their platforms and whatnot, and to gain connections. I want people to connect. I don't gatekeep at all. I want you to come to my shows and get numbers and get resources and get connections and build network so that you can grow your business as well, because that's how I grew. I literally grew my platform by just connecting with people.
No, I appreciate that about you, right? A lot of times, how we talking about how people before you might not have helped you out, gatekeep, their support. You named off a number of people that you are helping and supporting.
Miracle McGlown. Sorry, I just realized it.
Who is it?
Miracle McGlown. He's another designer from Flint.
Okay.
That'll be showcasing as well. Sorry.
No, the brother got so much going on, man. Make sure you tap in next Saturday, right? And then too, man, I just wanted to put you here, man. We doing this movie. Hey, we're doing this movie, Brother Roberts, and with Mr. Matthews. And he is definitely looking for some females.
Okay.
But then I don't know. You might even find a way. You might even want to do the design work for the wardrobes or whatever the case may be. Right?
Yeah, style next. I do style as well. I do a lot.
So we gonna meet next Wednesday. I'm gonna get you the information, and if you're open for it, I think that might be a good connection.
What you just mentioned.
I was mentioning. So Mr. Mike Matthews, he is. We're doing a movie.
Okay.
Right. She Belongs to Me. Big shout out to Mike Matthews. The movie's called She Belongs to Me. He's actually actively looking for folks who are looking to get engaged and be extras if you want a part, right? He wants to make sure that he put this roll call out for all the young ladies, right? So if you know any young ladies, Brother Roberts, your daughter, whatever the case may be, Jeremy, you got some folks you want to push over.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity and they get paid. Like, you don't get no deeper than that, right? So
Jeremy, we want you to be involved in, some of our activities coming up.
Well, I'm always trying to do something, trying to stay busy. There's a running joke with me that, when I get bored, I create a business. And that's the truth. Like, if I think about something, I'm going to figure out a way to how to put a order of operations behind it and slap an LLC on the end of it. Because I just feel like every skill set can be, you never know the aspect of your talents will become the multi-million-dollar outlet for you. So I'm not one of the ones to hide my talents and skills.
And listen, if you got the skill set, you got the opportunity, you want to make sure you let that light shine.
Yeah.
So man, listen, we gonna I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see if we got any other shows going on this year.
So the 810 Fashion, the spring edition that Adriana's putting on is coming up.
Okay.
I believe that's going to take place in March or April. But shout out to Adriana, who, like I said, she's absolutely amazing. Her and I actually are talking about doing a collaborative effort to where we're going to get several other fashion show producers together and do one huge, large, statewide casting call to where models can literally audition for up to 5 shows at one time. And those shows will be spread out over a 6-month period. But imagine 5, my show pulled in close to 200 models that pre-registered to audition, right? So Adriana might have, 100-something models, audition for her show. And then somebody else maybe got 70, somebody else got 100, whatever. What happens if all of us come together and we do a casting call that sees 800 to 1,000 models at one time, and they can literally book 5 different shows at one casting call? And we all put our money together. We all put our resources together. It's not about us, getting $1. It's more about saving $1. Why foot the bill of $1,500 for a venue to do a casting call when 5 people can put in $300 and use that same building all together.
That makes sense.
You know,
kind of like co-oping, working together.
Yeah, because the thing about it is that give these models, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that a lot of times models become okay with what's available because what they desire is not there. So it's like, I'd rather do something than do nothing at all. And why not give them a real opportunity that will build their network, that will build their platform, that will build their career, and actually get them further than where I've been so blessed to have models that were trained by me to book ads with Nike, Nike Fitness, to be signed with Wilhelmina Models, to do work with Abercrombie and Fitch, to book shows, TV appearances on The Chi, on Empire.
That's a good show.
You know, one of my models that I trained just did, I think it was Eddie Bauer's show last year, or in 2022 during Fashion Week, that got booked for shows in London for London Fashion Week, in Paris Fashion Week. A model that I trained, you know, and that's what it's about, giving them opportunities to build. Now, everybody doesn't get that, you know, that's just the reality of it. But there are a lot who have. I have 2 models right now, the 810 twins, who are models of mine that I've been working with.
And kind of singers?
No, they're twin models, Derek and Darius. And
is that that ain't the twins that be singing?
No, they don't sing. But
I'm thinking of Fli-City twins.
No, the 810 twins are twin brothers that are models, and they are. I think they're already out there in LA right now booking jobs. And one of them just did a job. I want to say they did a job for Nike.
Shout out to the
either Nike or Adidas. It's one of them. But you know, we create opportunities, or either I have a hand in creating that opportunity for them, or I have personally developed them and trained them up to a point to where when they go out for these opportunities, they have all the tools that they need to actually get in. And it's been a blessing.
I think, man, your work and legacy will live on.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what we doing now, man. We building structures and we leaving legacies.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
To be able to, you know, do that in this world and be efficient and effective. Man, it's big kudos to you, man, and definitely, man, congratulations on you know much success that you already have done and contribute to and accomplish.
Yeah.
But continued success moving forward here in the future, man. I'm very supportive of every door you have going on. And anything moving forward, I definitely want to tap you with that movie. Anything else too, man, we want to collaborate on, man. Let's continue to keep, putting a positive light on.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to say I am so proud of you two the young generation here.
Yeah.
We have young generation, we have Mr. Jeremy, and then we have Dewan, activists. Both of them are helping our community well. And I would like for the people out in the Flint community to lift these brothers up. Because they are doing excellent things. And also, they're showing the youth, just hope. The city of the water crisis. We have 2 men here that are helping the community as much as they can.
Come on now.
And I want you guys out in the city of Flint to support these people.
No, we appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%.
They just gave you some kudos on there, but we appreciate it.
We never knew that we had some 810 twins, modeling twins out of Flint. I mean, never knew.
Right.
Now, we might hear about music or whatever, but we never hear anything about the modeling industry.
Yeah, right. And Flint actually has great history. So there were designers like crazy that we all worked together. There was Identical Variant. There was Layup, which stood for Live at Your Own Pace. There was Vivid Braille by Brock Wilson. These are all designers that I worked with personally in my earlier years here once I got established, like in 2013, 2014. There was Fanny Lucille, Caleb Wilburn collection. There was Brittany Barbie, who I think her collection was 786. There was, oh my goodness, there were so many different designers, back then, and we all did each other's shows. I trained all their models for all of their shows. They put their collections all in my shows. Pierre Gabrielle was another very well popular clothing line back in that time.
I remember that.
and they were still great friends of mine.
Okay.
Amazing people, and Flint now has a lot of new talent, out there,
Sure.
and so I personally coined myself as the big brother of fashion here in the city. I don't know if anybody else called me that, but I call myself that because my desire now is to help all of these young designers.
Come on now.
Come on. Like if you're gonna do it, let's do it right. If you're gonna do your show, so if you're a new designer and you want to do a real showcase, call me. I will give you access to top-notch models, to makeup artists, and hairstylists, and people that can build your following and whatnot, so that way you have a chance to showcase your brand on larger platforms. I mean, we like the mom and pop shop thing. That's great and that's fine, but let's go bigger. Let's be better. Let's really, really build something that will last, that we can be proud of, and whatnot. That's going to make other people look at you and be like, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't know that was all in there. Let's do, if you're going to do it, let's do it right. That's my biggest thing. Let's do it right. So y'all new designer, y'all want to showcase a real collection, or you want to really, build something, call me. Hit me up. I'm always accessible.
And he is too, man. And I suggest, man, when you get a chance, you got a lot of folks, man, that's kind of tapping in and talking about different things. I think they were saying Brittany was a classmate or what have you.
Brittany Barbie was the truth. 786 collection was second to none. Brittany Barbie, amazing. Amazing.
I know I remember Identical Variant because my homeboy was in the Mousetrap, Isaac and
Big O.
Yeah,
Marcus Owens and and Randall Pointer.
Yeah, he man, you brought back some memories, bro. We used to be in there talking about all types of stuff. I remember I did a little motto back in the day with their shirt, man, the dope shirt.
Yeah,
pretty cool, man. But just I guess to see exactly where how we came, and big kudos to everybody who played a part in building the scene, man. Big shout out to everybody who had a design, everybody who put a brand. That was Flint based, man. We appreciate everybody making that contribution because it made a way for a lot of these young folks of today. So that was dope, man.
Yeah.
Kudos to everybody, man. Once again, the Blackout will be next Saturday at the Hilton Garden. Tickets are $35. Show starts, doors open at 6:30. Doors open at 6. I'm sorry. Be sure to go ahead and get a ticket. Just even come to hang out. We're gonna support it just in general. Come and watch some of the latest fashions coming out here in the city. Watch one of these phenomenal models that be walking the runway, coached by very own Jeremy D. Cornelius. And we just gonna keep Flint in a vibrant place. Like I said, we got a movie industry that's coming up now with the fashion, with the music catching on. So we got something to look forward to. I'm excited about what we about to put on here for the rest of the year and in the future. So be sure to like the show. Make sure you connect with Jeremy Cornelius. Be sure to share with your friend. If anybody wants some information about modeling, want to get into the game, definitely connect with the brother. Other than that, we will see y'all next Saturday at the showcase. You got any parting words you want to say?
Just come out to the Blackout. It's gonna be a great experience. You would not regret it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any word? But Rob, you gonna wear the dashiki down? It's got to be black now.
I gotta find some black.
All black.
All black. That would be hard though. All black dashiki coming down. Man, with the hat.
Right.
Bro, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I see we got brothers. All right, well, we're gonna shut this thing on down. Listen, while we shut it down, man, we do a blackout. Make sure y'all like the show. We black it out like this or kind of forever. Man, we appreciate, man, brother Jeremy coming in doing his thing, man. Appreciate sister Yolandria. Appreciate brother Roberts, Naeem. When you get a chance, man, you should come back and tap in with the folks, man. They on the showcase. They give you kudos. They like what you represent, brother. They said you had a powerful story.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So we're going to tap this thing on out, man. We're going to tap it out with a blackout.
We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in it, sauce in it, sauce in it. We light it up like sauce in it, sauce in it.
My city experiencing a transition from pen and